Hello, soulful entrepreneurs. This week on the podcast, I wanted to share with you an excerpt from the masterclass that I held last week and will also be repeated this week on how to attract dream clients that you love. Now, it's a 90-minute class that includes coaching at the end. So I wanted to give you a taste of what I covered in the class and also hoping that you can receive some value from this episode. And so I took pieces of it and put this together. So the audio will be a little bit different, but I wanted to prepare you for that. And I cleaned it up as much as I could. And so at the end, I do offer my coaching program. And if that's something that you're interested in, then you can go ahead and use the link that will be included in the show notes to book a call with me to see if working together is a good fit. Either way, I'm sure you will receive value. In this excerpt, I talk about one of the keys that is necessary to attract dream clients, and it's about marketing. So listen in, send me your takeaways. I always love to hear from you. Until next time, take good care. Bye. The other question is, can you say more about transformation? Is it the benefit with working me or benefit of using my service? Yes, it is both the benefits of working for you. So what happens after they work with you? What happens when they're done? Not done, but after they're with sessions. So I'll say some of my clients, they have more clarity, they have more focus, they know what they need to do to market their business, they have more of an idea about their mindset. Okay, so things like that. So that's the benefit of working with you. And so you put that together, right? And that becomes your niche. Okay. I know that right now it's like a lot to process, especially I keep talking because I want you to get the most value out of this class. But if you need more support with that, I will do some more individual coaching. Okay. So then the second key is for you to have an aligned marketing plan. Okay. Once you have a niche and you're working in that niche, and even if you don't have a niche and you decide you're going to hold off on having a niche, then what I would recommend you do is start to market. Okay. Start to market different ways. So I'd love to hear a little bit from you in the chat box. What are some things that you've done, tried to market your services? Right? So there's the offline marketing, there's online marketing, there's paid advertising. There's lots of ways to do paid advertising. There's networking. There's no secret for me. Okay, pay-per-click advertising online and offline. Okay. So advertising, I've seen that's one way. Usually people need more than one way to attract their clients, right? So networking and social media, okay? Facebook ads, okay? Good. Those are all ways to attract. And the thing is that some things you'll enjoy doing and that come easy to you, and some things might come a little bit more difficult, are a little bit more difficult for you to do. So what of those things that you've done do you enjoy doing? Referrals. Okay, I love referrals. Referrals are the best because they already come kind of ready to work with you, right? I love referrals. Okay, so the referrals, so that's about the network, right? So earlier when I talked about who's in your network, right? So that's the network that you have right now for your niche. Now, one more thing about that, since we're talking about referrals, if you don't have people in your network that match kind of what you're doing right now, you can create networks. You can start to meet more people, meet different people. Think about where you want to be. Start to connect with more people. You can go to traditional networking, business networking events, find the one that's a good fit for you, and then think beyond that. I want you to think broader than just traditional networking events. What are some ways that you can meet people now, not with that intention of that, like, I'm just going to go to try to sell everybody, but where would I want to spend my time anyway? What are some ways that I would want to spend my time anyway, and that I can meet more people and build my network? Okay, so it becomes like a natural way to build your business instead of that kind of, I know some people do that. Have you ever been to a chamber event or some other event where there's like the what is it called, the business card dealer? Like they're just throwing business cards at everybody, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about building relationships and building connections and coming from a place of supportive and helping each other, right? And that's how I built my first bit. That's how I started all my businesses, was through building connections and building that. And it takes a little bit of time, but it's completely worth it. And it's actually fun. Like you can make it fun if you come up like, I just get to learn on about all these people and I get to learn about them, right? That can be really fun. But if you don't like doing that, then we can find a way that works for you. Okay, so a lot of times people will do marketing and try it for a really too short of a time and then give up. So that's one of the things that I've seen happen a lot. Or they're doing too many things, so they're spreading themselves too thin. So for instance, if you're using advertising, right? Where do you want to focus? Because the thing is, when you spread yourself too thin, your energy is split, your money is split. Okay. And I know that people do that because of the fear of, what if I choose the wrong platform to advertise? Or what if I choose the wrong group to join? So the idea in their head is that if I join more groups or I advertise in 10 places, then the results could be better. Most of the time, that's not the case. Okay. What I believe in doing is picking first what your strengths are. Are you more introverted? I know I'm the introverted, quiet one. You wouldn't maybe guess from me doing this class, like way out of my comfort zone, but I love teaching because I used to teach before. So those are my strengths, and I actually connect really well with people one-on-one versus group. Like when I'm in a group, I used to kind of shut down completely. It takes a lot of energy for me to be in a group environment, but I do that so I can meet the people to connect individually. Because when I can build real relationships and with people, that's important to me. And that is one of my strengths, is to be able to connect with people at a deep level. It comes naturally. I like doing that. I like to have meaningful conversations. Okay. What are your strengths? What comes naturally to you? And then are you using that in your marketing plan? And then are you spreading yourself too thin? These are some things I want you to ask yourself. Are you spreading yourself too thin? Are you, marketing in a way that's aligned with you? Or are you following something someone told you had to do? That was the way to be successful. So marketing with your strengths, there's so many reasons that this works, because it's something that comes naturally to you. So years ago, I took StrengthsFinder. I don't have the book here, but StrengthsFinder 2.0, I think it's called Clifton's StrengthsFinder now. And it was actually with the coach that I work with. She asked me to take that and find out what my top 5, you have your top 5 and top 10 strengths, which according to that book doesn't change much. Okay. Where you focus might change, but the top 10 strengths don't change. If you're able to recognize your strengths and lean into those strengths and use that in your marketing is more effective. Okay, that doesn't mean, like, for instance, I use the example of me. This is out of my comfort zone to teach a class, let's say, or to teach a class online or to teach a class in person, but I love teaching. That's a strength of mine. So I do it because it's a strength to teach and to connect with people. The part that's out of my comfort zone is to do it in this way. Okay, so I'm not telling you not to go outside your comfort zone, but you do it in line with your strengths. You do it in line with your strengths of what you actually enjoy doing. So if you don't enjoy teaching at all, if that's not really your strength, then don't do speaking events, right? Don't do that. You don't have to. There's other ways. If you really don't enjoy going to groups and talking to people at all, then let's find a different way, right? The other thing that's really a hot topic is social media. I was given the idea that I have to have so many social media. I have to be on all the social media networks and I have to post so many times. I have to do all these things. That works for some people. I'm not saying that these strategies don't work, but how long are you going to continue a strategy that doesn't work for you? That's really out of your way of how you function in the world. That's not really a strength of yours. Okay. Instead, if you lean into your strengths, you get better, even better at that faster. Then you're able to market even more effectively using your strengths in those ways, right? So, and even improve on them. So if you think about, for instance, these Olympic athletes, okay, very few people have multiple sports. There are some, okay, but most of the people will pick something and they had a natural ability. They had some natural ability in that, and then they developed that strength and improved that strength. And that's where they're like, they were good enough at that sport to be in the Olympics. But what if, let's say, one of these athletes said, I really do love gymnastics, like Simone Biles or something, right? I love gymnastics. I'm really good at it. I have a natural ability. But you know what? I've been told that gymnastics is not the right sport. So I need to play tennis instead. And so she tried instead to play tennis. Maybe she would be good at it, but she's not going to be as good as she would be and how she is actually in gymnastics, right? So that's what I see happening all the time is, people doing marketing strategies that they've been told that's the way to make money right now. And it doesn't align with them at all. It doesn't align with their strengths. Okay. So thinking about what your strengths are. So how do you work with this? Okay. What are your strengths? Do you know what your strengths are? And if you don't, then I would start there, right? Figure out what your strengths are. What are you really good at? And what comes naturally to you? Think about when you're not under stress. When you're not under stress, how do you like to spend your time? What do you do naturally? Maybe even go back to a few years ago before you started your business, maybe in your past career. What did you do in your career that you really enjoyed? Recognize what your strengths are. You can take the Strengths Finder. That one, I think you can do it online now. And if you want that, I'll send that out with the recording since I'm talking about it. I wasn't planning to, but it just came through. So I just decided to say that you could take the assessment and then read about what your strengths are. And then from there, you set up a marketing plan, and then you go deep into the marketing plan. And what do I mean by that? Okay. So let's say you try to do some networking. Okay. And so you're like, oh, you do the networking for 2 or 3 months and you're like, okay, this networking doesn't work. Let me try and join a different group. Or let me go try this other strategy. That's not what that's actually one of the big mistakes people make. Okay. So instead, oh, I'm in this networking group. I'm not really connecting with people in the way that I'd like. What is going on here? What is happening? Am I showing up with my strengths? How can I contribute more? How can I change how I show up to this group? How can I, do more one-to-ones? How can I be of more service in the group? How can I be more clear about what I do? How can I ask more specifically for what I need? And then making it more effective for not only you, for the other people in the group. So that's a very different thing than skipping around to different groups. So that's where I would love for you to focus, that focus of this is the way I'm going to do it. I know that this is aligned with my strengths and I can make it better and better and better. Okay. So be honest with yourself of what the marketing that you're doing, what marketing activities you're doing right now. You can write down everything, write down your strengths, and then look at how you can, what doesn't match your strength, and maybe you let those things go. And then how you can make the things that you're already doing, that you enjoy doing, that match your strengths, make them better. Because we can always be better. right? We can continue to improve the way that we show up and how we do the marketing. It's not just about the activity, it's how you're doing the activity. So when you know you're doing marketing aligned with your strengths and you have your client, kind of the client avatar that we talked about, which is the internal and external characteristics, okay? You know kind of where they hang out. Where does your client hang out? You're marketing with your strengths. You are able to work in I don't want to say leverage, but kind of, I like the win-win area situations where I'm supporting and they're supporting and we're helping each other, collaborative. And eventually, if you want, you can start to create your own communities around your niche and the transformation you provide. That's the next level situation. So if you find yourself that, you've gone through the marketing avenues, you've figured out where you want to market, you've gone in depth in those areas, and you're like, well, I'm not so sure I'm meeting the right people yet, then we start to switch or even consider, like, maybe you need to create your own community, right? That I won't know until I know your individual business, but know that there's always a way. If you feel discouraged with whatever you're doing, trust that there's always a way. You don't have to see it that way, but these are the things that we work on in the program, and it's tailored to you. So if you already have your niche, then we have the grounding, we have the first chakra done. Okay. We work on programs, and your ICA is ideal client avatar. Okay. So we'll work on that to make that clear. And like I said, the way I did niche is the way that I showed you. It's that framework. Okay. And so we would work on that together. We'd work on what I consider that outward, the third chakra is your branding, your strengths. Now, I'm not like a branding color type branding expert, okay? But the brand of you, that's the type of branding that we would work on. Then we create your plan together. And then there's the implementation, okay? So that's where a lot of the subconscious programming challenges will come up when you're actually going out and implementing, right? So you go out and you implement, and then we have a session. So what happened? Let's work through that, okay? That's where we go to the subconscious mind and continue to cultivate the subconscious mindset. Okay, so that's what I would work on with you, and depending where you are in your business. Okay, this is what's included. So we do calls every other week. In between, I have support. I use a software called Coach Accountable, where you can send me journals. I send you visualizations. I send you trainings, different things that you can do in between. So you're actually doing, even though we meet once every 2 weeks, you are implementing in between. And I found that's a really good rhythm, because before I know it, I used to work with people weekly. Before I knew it, the next week came around and they didn't have time to implement. And then so we talk again, and then they didn't have. So 2 weeks gives you enough time to implement. Okay. And so then this is not like, sometimes I know all of us have probably bought courses. I love courses. I'm not saying anything against them. I just know that I bought courses that I haven't finished. Okay. And so that's why I'm not going to give you a bunch of things. I want to give you what's relevant to where you are. Okay. And so with this, I'm able to do that. And that's the way I like to work. Okay. And then, of course, I have some bonuses for those of you that are like, okay, I'm willing to start and just talk to you. So I don't expect you to enroll right now. I want to actually connect with you and see if we have a connection. And so I'll put a link to book a call, or you can send me a message. Later on, we can book that. We'll talk for 30 to 45 minutes about your individual situation, your business, and see if working together is a good fit. But what I'm offering as a bonus for those of you that book a call with me before the end of this week, right, is the call doesn't, by the way, have to happen before the end of the week. You just have to actually book it, okay? I'm including a 90-minute one-on-one call with you. So if after our consultation, if you decide we're going to work together, you get a 90-minute call. those calls are really powerful and can get you started. So if your idea is like, I want to start making more income right away, I need to make these changes, or I want to check my marketing plan, this is a really good call. Okay. I love doing them. And sometimes I just do that with people. So people get a lot out of that. I also, with the new year coming up, have a vision board workshop course. That is a course. Okay. But the difference is you'll be doing that, and then I'll be there to answer questions. I'm giving that to you, including that in the coaching program. And then I am going to hold a CEO workshop. Okay, I'm charging $197 for that workshop, and you will get that as part of the coaching. It is going to be on December 1st. From 9 a.m. Pacific to 12 p.m. Pacific time. And in that, we will work through what you've done so far in your business. It's an online workshop, what you've actually done, what's working, what's not working, creating the plan for the next year. And we'll also look at how you're spending your time, and you'll be able to tweak some of those things. So you leave with like, this is my plan for the next 6 months to a year, depending how far ahead you want to go. Because as entrepreneurs, I know that I won't do that. So unless I'm actually in a container that someone's guiding me through, I won't do it as well. And so whenever I've attended workshops like this, my year is so much better. So that's why I'm providing that too. If you can't make it, of course, the recording, I like to provide recording so people can do it at their own pace. There will be some work for you to do before you show up so that you can get the most out of it. But if you don't do it, it's fine. So I'm also including that for the people that, sign up, right? Before the workshop, basically. Okay. And then just giving you a couple of client stories. So this is my client. I changed her name. I don't like to show my clients' faces and names without, they know that I'm talking about them, but we sign a confidentiality agreement. So this is not my client. This is just a stock photo. So this client came to me because she was not sure whether she wanted to even continue her business. Okay, she had a Pilates business, and she would work she had opened a Pilates studio, and didn't know if she wanted to continue. So in our work together, she decided that it was not in her strengths to continue the Pilates studio. She did it because she thought that was the next logical step as a Pilates instructor, and almost felt some shame that she actually wasn't able to make that business successful and profitable. It was causing so much stress for her that she was having health issues. So she let go of that, and then she pivoted her focus so that she could focus on providing Pilates individually. And she started using her network to approach just a couple of smaller companies to teach Pilates in these companies. And so then we also made that kind of program simple that she provided for her one-on-one clients, and worked on her pricing, simple marketing plan for her. And so she was able to then create this business that was aligned with who she was. So she made more money doing Pilates on her own than she ever did having her studio. Okay. And not just generated more income, she actually, which is really important, was more profitable. Okay. And so that's one of my clients. I love talking about her. She did all the work. So there you have it. That was a piece from the masterclass that I held last week and this Wednesday. If you want to attend live and you're listening to this before November 8th, there's still time to register. There will be a link below the show notes. I'd love to see you there. And if you feel called to have a conversation about your business, then use the link to book a call. I'd love to connect with you.